Okay, so you've probably noticed the AI explosion is everywhere, right? And what's fueling it is this insane hunger for computing power. We're talking massive, incredibly powerful hardware. But here's the catch. All that power comes with a serious price tag, and that creates a huge roadblock for pretty much anyone trying to build the next big thing in AI. Yeah, just take a look at this number, $400,000. That's roughly what a single high-end AI server costs, one packed with the latest NVIDIA H100 GPUs. I mean, think about that. In a lot of places, that's more than a house. The economics here are just staggering, and that's really the core problem we're going to dig into today. So that leads to the big question, right? If the price of admission is a server that costs almost $500,000, how on earth can anyone afford to innovate? How do startups, or researchers, or even different teams inside a big company get their hands on the tools they need? Well, the obvious answer is sharing. But, as you're about to find out, sharing this kind of hardware is way more complicated than it sounds. So, what makes AI so different? I mean, it's not like running a simple website. See, traditional computing, that's all built around CPUs. But AI, it thinks with a totally different kind of brain, the GPU. And these things are scarce, they're built for massive parallel processing, and yeah, they are wildly expensive. That's why sharing them isn't just a nice idea, it's an absolute economic necessity. And the industry's answer to this whole problem is a concept called multi-tenancy. On the surface, it's a really simple idea. You have multiple users, or tenants, all sharing the same piece of hardware. This is great, right? It drives down costs, it makes AI way more accessible, but it also opens up a total Pandora's box of new, complex, and let's be honest, kind of scary risks. Because when you share a resource, well, you also share all the problems that come along for the ride. And in the world of AI infrastructure, these problems basically have two faces. First, you've got the noisy neighbor. You know the type, the one who hogs all the performance and slows everybody else down. And then there's the one you really have to worry about, the malicious tenant, who isn't just clumsy, they're actively trying to steal your data or even take over the whole system. And this is where it gets really interesting, because it all comes down to trust. You have two main flavors of sharing. On one side, you've got soft multi-tenancy. Think of this like sharing an office kitchen with your coworkers. You basically trust them, but, accidents can happen. The main goal is just to make sure everyone can use the coffee machine efficiently. But on the other side, you have hard multi-tenancy. Now, this is totally different. This is like being a landlord for apartments with paper-thin walls. You have zero trust. Your main goal isn't efficiency. It's installing deadbolts and security cameras to prevent a total disaster. And all this leads to this fundamental problem, what people in the industry call the utilization isolation paradox. It's kind of like a catch-22. If you want perfect security, which means total isolation, you'd have to dedicate that entire $400,000 server to one tiny job, which is a colossal waste of money. But if you go the other way and try to maximize utilization by cramming as many people on there as possible, you create huge security holes and performance nightmares. So you're stuck. So how do you solve this paradox? How do you get the best of both worlds? Well, you start by moving the idea of isolation way, way down the stack. Instead of building walls around the entire server, you start building walls inside the silicon of the GPU itself. Okay, the most basic way to share a GPU is something called time slicing. Just imagine a single spotlight on a stage and it's flashing really fast between different actors. It's super flexible, right? You can have 100 jobs all lined up, each getting a tiny slice of time. But, and this is a huge but, it offers absolutely zero protection. One bad process can hog all the memory and crash everyone else. There are no walls here, not a single one. All right, moving one level up, we get to NVIDIA's multi-process service, or MPS. Now, this is a little smarter. It basically acts like a traffic cop, taking a bunch of small, separate jobs and merging them into a single, efficient stream for the GPU. This is awesome for throughput. So think about a service that's processing thousands of tiny image recognition requests a second. But there's a huge catch. It's a single point of failure. If that MPS traffic cop crashes, it takes every single tenant down with it. So still way too risky for untrusted users. And that brings us to the gold standard, NVIDIA MIG, which stands for Multi-Instance GPU. Now listen, this isn't some software trick. This is a real hardware feature. You can think of it like taking a digital saw and physically carving one giant GPU into up to 7 smaller, completely independent mini GPUs. And when I say independent, I mean it. Each one has its own dedicated compute cores, its own memory, its own everything. So what that means is, if one tenant's job crashes,
or even gets attacked, it has absolutely zero effect on the others. This is how you build real solid walls right there in the silicon.
So this table really lays it all out perfectly. You can see the whole progression here. Time slicing is just about sharing time. MPS adds a layer of software protection. But MIG gives you true physical hardware-based isolation. The takeaway is pretty clear. You have to choose the right tool for the right job. You wouldn't use time slicing for a secure public-facing AI service any more than you use a sledgehammer to hang a family photo. It's just not going to work. Okay, so we've built these awesome walls inside the GPU with MIG. We're all safe now, right? Nope, not even close. You see, a secure GPU by itself is like putting an unpickable bank vault lock on a flimsy cardboard door. It doesn't matter how good the lock is if an attacker can just kick down the door. And in this case, the door is the host computer. If they can get to that, all our fancy GPU security is useless. So what's the solution? Well, it's a strategy that security pros call defense in depth. It's all about layers. We've handled step 1, isolating the GPU hardware. But that's just the inner keep. Now we have to secure the software running the jobs, the containers. Then we need to build walls around the network. And finally, we have to govern the storage. Each layer is designed to stop a different kind of attack. But there's another huge threat we have to talk about. See, pretty much all modern AI workloads run inside these things called containers. And the nightmare scenario is that a vulnerability allows a malicious tenant's code to escape from its container and attack the host computer itself. If they can do that, it's game over. They own the entire machine. They can see everyone's data, everything. And to stop that from happening, we need really strong sandboxes. The two main players here are Kata containers and gvisor. Now, gvisor is pretty clever. It basically acts as a bodyguard, intercepting any sketchy requests to the computer's main operating system. But Kata containers takes it a whole step further. It actually wraps each and every container in its own tiny, lightweight virtual machine, complete with its own separate brain or kernel. This gives you nearly perfect isolation, and this is the key part for us. It has fantastic support for those high-performance GPUs we need. So for any untrusted AI workload, Kata is definitely the way to go. All right, we've secured the hardware, we've sandboxed the containers, we should be done, right? Well, there's one more critical piece to this puzzle, actually getting the right jobs to the right GPUs at the right time. And the problem is, the default scheduler in a system like Kubernetes, it's like a simple traffic cop at a small intersection. It's just not smart enough to direct a whole AI orchestra. And this example right here shows you exactly why. Let's say a big AI training job needs 8 GPUs to even start. The standard scheduler looks around, sees 7 GPUs are free, and says, "Great, here you go." But what happens? Those 7 GPUs just sit there, completely idle, burning electricity and costing an absolute fortune, all because they're waiting for that 8th one to free up. The job eventually just times out and fails. It is a massive, massive waste of time and money. The solution is an elegantly simple policy called gang scheduling. It's exactly what it sounds like, all or nothing. The scheduler is smart enough to know the job needs 8 GPUs, so it waits. It doesn't start anything until all 8 of those GPUs are available at the exact same time. And just like that, no more idle GPUs, no more wasted resources. Now, to actually make this happen, platform engineers use a few specialized tools. You've got options like Apache Unicorn, which comes from the big data world and is great for managing complicated queues. Then there's Volcano, which is a real powerhouse built from the ground up for high-performance stuff. And there's also a newer, more lightweight option called Queue, which just adds these smart queuing abilities right on top of the standard scheduler. So everything we've talked about so far has been about building walls, right? Walls in the hardware, walls around the containers, walls in the software. But the next frontier in security, it's something totally different. It's not about building walls anymore. It's about creating invisible, cryptographic fortresses that make the data itself impenetrable. And this is a concept called confidential computing. Using brand new features built right into the CPUs and GPUs, your data stays encrypted at all times. I mean, literally all the time. When it's sitting on a hard drive, when it's flying across the network, and, this is the revolutionary part, even while it's being actively processed in memory. This is really the ultimate level of security, because with this, not even the cloud provider who owns the physical servers can peek inside and see your data or your AI model. At the end of the day, AI is quickly becoming the new critical infrastructure of our economy.
And all these techniques we've covered, from slicing up hardware with MIG all the way to confidential computing, they're all steps toward one single massive goal. And that goal is to answer this question: can we build shared systems that are efficient and affordable, but are just as trustworthy as if you had your very own dedicated hardware? The challenge is huge, for sure, but getting it right is something our entire future just might depend on.